Morning, and a beautiful one it is. I hope it's nice where you are. I'm here again, Duchess. Today, I suppose what we're going to be doing is we're going to try and teach your dog to drop on command. Okay, dropping on the whistle. And this is probably the most frustrating, time-consuming task that you will teach your dog. It's very, very frustrating for you, and it's frustrating for your dog, because up to now you've been letting your dog run around, your dog's been playing, it's been hunting, it's been doing its own thing, and you've let it. Now you're going to say, no, now you're not going to do this anymore. You have to stop doing what you're doing, sit down on my command. And it sounds hard, it is quite hard. But believe it or not, once you have this mastered, the rest of the training is quite easy. So please don't get frustrated, keep calm, do as I do, and you will manage. Now, every dog is different. As you can see, as I said yesterday, Duchess, she's a bit of a fidget. She's moving, she's excitable, she's a dog that doesn't like to sit still. So she's going to be quite difficult to get to do this. And I also explained that in the relaxed position, when she's off the lead, she lies down. There you go, she lies down. So that's where she'll want to be. When I give her the drop, to tell her to drop, that's what she'll be trying to do, is to lie down. But what I do is just lift her head up and get her into the sit position. If you can at all, sometimes it's impossible. I know this from training. Sometimes it's impossible. But if you can at all, get your dog in the sit position when you give it the drop signal, not lying down. Because if they lie down, they have a habit of crawling. It's easy for them to crawl. If they're sitting, then they can't move off. So, what do? Simple enough. Get your dog on the lead on your left hand side and walk it around. Okay, look, you can see how excited she is. Look, she is going to be difficult to do this with, but then she makes up for it in other ways. She's a great hunter. So I have to say, well, look, I can't have it all my own way. Something has to be difficult with her. It wasn't hard to train her to hunt, but it is going to be hard to train her to sit still, right? Because she doesn't want to sit still. She's a fidget. Okay, so how do? You walk your dog on the left hand side. I suppose keep 4 foot of lead out, or a little over a metre. Go around. I'm going in a circular motion, and I think for a start you should do that too, because it just reminds the dog, right, this is the position, this circle is where we actually sit. This is where John makes me sit. Now, very important that you don't do this training where you also exercise your dog. If you've brought your dog to a field or to a certain part of the garden or to somewhere to exercise them, and you've allowed them off the lead and they've been used to running around that area, then don't bring them to that area to try and get them to sit. It makes sense, doesn't it? If they've been used to running around and playing in that area, they'll find it hard to sit in that area. So find a completely new place to bring them, to train them this. Okay, so walk them around in a circular position. Whistle in your mouth. I can talk with it in my mouth, I'm so used to it. And you just go, you just give them a blow of the whistle. And as you give a blow of the whistle, you just give a little gentle tug back on the lead. I don't want you to put the dog back behind you. I just want a little tug just to remind them to go down. If they don't go down, which a lot of dogs don't, it depends very much on the dog's chosen position in the relaxed position. And what I mean by that is, if you are walking your dog, you're going down the street and you meet a friend and you stand, what does your dog do? Does it naturally sit? This is good, this is good. No, well, it was good. Does it naturally sit, or does it stand up, or does it lie down? Which does it do? Because that is what your dog is doing in the relaxed position. So when you give it a little tug, your dog then will either stand up, sit down, or lie down. Our chosen position is sitting up. So just lift him up. You won't hurt him. Just lift him up or her up into the sit position. Okay? Keep it there for a second or two. Then with your whistle and your hand, 2 blows. 2 blows of your whistle and guide your dog on. Now this 2 blows and will become in use for later on when we're doing turning your dog when it's hunting, changing your dog's direction. This will get your dog to change direction later on. But for now, we use it to move your dog on. Okay? To move your dog on. Use no vocal commands unless, of course, your dog is not a gun dog. And you know, all my videos are suitable for all dogs. So if it's a pet you have, you just use your voice. When you do this, you say sit. Instead of, you go sit. And then you go walk on. Okay, so for pets, that's what you do. Sit and walk on. That's all you need. See, relaxed position. What does she do? She lies down. So this is why I have to keep her up, keep her head up, because otherwise when I move, she'll crawl. Okay? There you go. Look. I know them long enough to know what they do. She'll crawl. Now, this is my first day doing this with her. I have not done any of this with her before. So, just bear with me. Watch what I do. As you say, if she's not, if you see, she's slightly nervous now. She's slightly nervous now because she's on the lead so long, she doesn't know what's happening. But if your dog is in the relaxed position when you've told it to stand, if your dog is standing up, just light little pressure on the back to push it down. Just light little pressure on the back to push it down. And while you're doing that, or sit, depending on what your dog's purpose is. If it's a gun dog, it's, if it's a pet, it's sit. Okay? Now your dog might be running around under your feet, back around you. Be patient, please, be patient. So we'll start. We'll see how it goes. I hope I'm clear now on what I said. You know, I think I'll go over what you've got to do again. You walk your dog in a circular position. Okay? You give one blow. This is good. This is good. Call your dog on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. This is good. This is good. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. You can see her tail. Her tail is wagging. She's happy. This is what you want. You want your dog to be happy. Good girl. Good girl. Keep your dog's head up. Don't let them be smelling the ground. Keep their head up. Good girl. Good girl. This is excellent. I think the reason this is working so well is, remember yesterday I told you how to walk your dog on the lead and stop it pulling? Well, she remembers that. She remembers that she wasn't allowed to walk all over me. Keep her attention. She remembers that she wasn't allowed to walk all over me, and she knew what she had to do. So if she was walking, as I say, if you're walking your dog and you give it the command to sit, or sit, and it doesn't, just, or sit. Just lightly press down the dog. So they'll associate being down there with the whistle for, or the sit position. We'll go again. The amount of praise you give your dog is very important. When it does it right, I want you to praise it. But sometimes you can overpraise. And by that I mean you can make so much of a fuss, good girl, good girl, good girl, that she forgets what she's doing and she becomes totally out of control. So the amount of praise you give depends on the dog. With this girl, with Duchess, good girl is enough. Just telling her good girl is enough. Don't overdo it. But make sure you do praise positive behaviour. Always praise positive behaviour. Don't keep your dog too long in the sit position. 2 seconds will do to start with. This is very good. Very good. Oh. She wanted to lie down there, but I just straight away I lifted her up and I went up. You'll see Duke, Earl does that too. It's a trait in their breeding. It comes from Duke. I told you before, Duke would always throw himself on the ground, spray his legs out. That was a habit he had. Earl does it, likes to lie down, and she likes to lie down. It's learned behaviour. It's in their, they've inherited it. It's no problem. It's fine. You'll hear me always say to Earl, up. You know, I'll always say up, and he'll sit up. So I won't allow her to sit. I'll tell her up. Again, call her on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. She didn't go down there straight away, so I just gave her a little reminder. Remember, little reminder on the lead, just to, I don't want you to pull her this way or pull her that way. When she's walking beside you, you're doing it back, so it encourages her to sit. I'll just show you on a side view. You see, it just encourages her. Pull that way and it encourages her to sit. Again, walk on. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. I like how she's sitting in front of me. This is good. She's looking at me. She's waiting for me to tell her to move on. She's waiting for me to tell her what we're doing next. Tail is wagging, which is brilliant. She's happy. She's liking what we're doing. Very important too. Just praise. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. This looks easy, doesn't it? And you'll say, John, my dog won't do that. I know. A lot of dogs won't do this. She's been very good. She's been very, very good. But this comes from me training her yesterday, walking back into her, you know, making it uncomfortable for her. So now she's thinking, right, I'll be good for John. I'll do what John says and everything will go okay. You're at home now, you've watched my video, you go out and your dog is running around your legs. It won't sit down. It's pulling you on the lead. Well, first of all, get control of your dog on the lead. That's the most important thing. Watch my video from yesterday. Once you have control of your dog on the lead, then do this. If you're walking and your dog's not going, if your dog is standing up, sit. Okay? If you're a gun dog trainer, okay? I try to make that as simple as possible. I'd love to see your video. I'd love to see your videos. I'd love to see how you're doing with your dog. Is your dog doing as good as Duchess? If not, it doesn't matter. No one will be ridiculed, laughed at, scolded, or nothing. I love to see videos. I love to see other people working their dogs. So please, if you can, just share your video under this of you doing the training your dog in the sit position. Set up your phone, bring out a chair, put your phone on the chair, put a book behind it, press record and off you go, or get someone to record you. But I would love to see it. You know, it's fine for me out here. I'm on my own doing all this. It is enjoyable, but I'd love to watch you doing it. This is why I'm doing these videos. It's to help you train your own dog. And I know dog trainers won't like this or won't like me doing this because I'm doing them out of business. But I don't care. The most pleasurable experience you'll ever have with your dog is to train it yourself. So I leave it at that. That'll do for today. Keep doing this for maybe 15 or 20 minutes. Don't overdo it. Your dog will get bored. Stop twice a day if you can, 3 times a day if you can, as long as your dog is happy doing it. Now, not every dog is going to be wagging its tail. No, it will find it a little bit frustrating and a little bit uncomfortable, you catching it and putting it down. Don't be rough. Just lightly press on the dog. While you're pressing, you say down or sit, whatever you like. But keep it the one command. Don't use down and sit alternatively. Use one command. See, you see, because I kind of made a little bit of a fuss how she was jumping up there. So just settle her again. Sit. Okay, just settle her again. That's all I do for today. Sorry the videos are so long, but I do try to explain everything as much as I can, because there's nothing worse than being half told how to do something. This is how you do it, my way. I hope it works for you. And again, please share your videos. Have a beautiful Monday and take care. Bye bye.